Hey everyone, either welcome back or welcome to my channel. And in today's video, I want to talk about what goes through my head when I'm actually getting a migraine. So before I get into any more details, time for the intro. I thought since it was such a nice day that it was time that I did one of these videos outdoors. So I'm just going to be walking around a little bit and sharing my thoughts on this particular topic for this video. If you hear background noises and all of that, I can't control that, but the birds are kind of nice, so it's kind of nice to have that out here. This topic today is about what goes through my head when I get a migraine. The first thing that goes through my head when I'm getting a migraine is I hope I have enough time to get everything done that I need to. When this happens with migraines or IIH, the symptoms can come on quite suddenly, and particularly with migraines, because there's those phases, each migraine actually tends to last a different amount of time when you start feeling those initial symptoms of the prodrome phase. What I mean by this is that in those initial moments of, oh, I feel like I'm getting a migraine, there may be times when you don't know exactly how long you have until you maybe get an aura, or you maybe get the pain starting. And it's when those types of things happen that you actually can't really function. So I tend to be able to function at the start of my migraines, but at those points in time, I may not be able to function, and it's important that I try and get as much done before that happens as possible. Now, when it comes to those different phases of the migraine and what's running through my head often when I start to feel the symptoms is, how long is this going to last? Because some migraines can last for several days, while others can only usually last for a few hours. And when you have different tasks that you need to do every day, when you get to those points where you don't know how long it's going to last, you kind of have to decide and all of that on how much should I do today in case this is still a problem tomorrow, or should I push through this because I might be better tomorrow. All of those types of questions run through your mind when you're dealing with these different things running through your head, and it can be a matter of a few hours to a few days on what determines your next step, and you don't know that until you actually go through the migraine phases. You can't tell because each migraine is really different in what you experience. Sometimes the symptoms that you have are the same, but how long those symptoms last are very unpredictable. I know one of the most common things that actually runs through my mind when I first initially feel the onset of migraines is I better clear my schedule in case I happen to start to feel worse over the next few hours or even in the next couple of days. There are times usually with migraines where you get an idea of, okay, this might be this amount of time because I've got my period or there's a weather system that's coming through. Those are the most common types of examples that I can come up with right now. But there are other times where you're not experiencing any of those and you just don't know exactly how long you have until you won't be able to function again. So what I like to do in that particular case is clear my schedule just in case, so that I'm not having to worry about, am I being productive at this point in time, just in case I'm not able to function. Now, I don't usually honestly get many migraines anymore that are to the point where I'm stuck in my bed with the lights off and absolutely cannot tolerate any sound. What I mean by clearing my schedule is I don't need to worry about particular things like captioning video, which takes a lot of brain power and can be really difficult when you are dealing with the pain, and because it's hard to concentrate. Other things that can be difficult include things like editing video and all of that, because I'm on screens. Generally, there isn't a lot of other things that I do that are interfered with. Sometimes I can't even actually watch a video or be on my devices during my peak point of the migraine. It all really does depend, though. It's what each person can do, and what they mean by clearing the schedule is going to be very different from person to person, basically. One of the most common things I've actually talked about and mentioned in my videos before is I deal with this neck pain. And honestly, when I'm starting to get a migraine, my neck will start to get really tight. I'm actually having a little bit of it right now. And so it'll be hard to move this like this with my head. Now, with the neck pain, I can actually remedy that particular symptom. Usually things like when I take naproxen, often that'll help with that particular symptom. But sometimes, honestly, it's so hard to deal with. Sometimes I'll also just take naproxen as well, because it'll just be enough just to take the edge off, and then it's good. But sometimes there really isn't much you can do about the neck pain. When I get the neck pain, it can make me nauseous as well, so that's not a very fun symptom to be dealing with. One of the most common things that'll happen, because I often do start to feel the symptoms of migraines when I'm on my devices, because when I'm editing or captioning, I'm spending a lot of time on my devices. And so one of the first thoughts is, I better get this thing done that I'm trying to do so I can get off my screens now. Because when I'm not able to get off my screens, it really does honestly start to hurt if I push through it too much. So that's one of the first goals that I have, is to get everything done that I need to do and make sure I get off of my screens, not to make it any worse. If you're enjoying my content, please feel free to subscribe. Remember that it's completely free. It just allows us to reach more people with IIH and migraines. When you're subscribing, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss any of my upcoming future content. If you enjoyed this particular video, be sure to give it a like. If you're watching this on Facebook or Instagram, be sure to like and follow. And as for now, that's it for today. Bye, everyone.